Okay, Bismillah. Moment of inertia. At first, before talking about moment of inertia, let us revise what was inertia about. Okay, can anybody tell me, or can anybody share with us what is inertia? What do you know about inertia?
The tendency of a body to remain in the same state.
Yes, the tendency of a body to maintain its state, right? Okay. Now, if a body is at rest, it wants to be at rest, and it will not change its condition by itself. If you want to change the condition of it, you have to apply some force. That means you have to force it to change its state, right? And if it is in motion, then if you want to change the velocity of the motion, then what you have to do, you have to apply some force again. Without applying some force, it will not change its state. It will not want itself to change its state. So this tendency of the body is called inertia. Okay. Now what is moment? Inshallah, we will get to know. Okay. We discussed about inertia in the third chapter, that is dynamics. Okay. We have seen that the tendency to resist the change of velocity. Yes, every body has a tendency to resist the change. Okay. That is why we have force. Okay, change of velocity is the inertia. And how can we measure the inertia? By mass. Here it is written, mass is the measure of inertia. Very important MCQ for both SSC and HSC level. Okay, the higher the mass, the greater the inertia. Okay, the greater the tendency. The tendency to resist the change of rotating motion of an object is the moment of inertia. Acha. Now we got to know the inertia, that the tendency to resist the change. If it is for rotational motion, then we call it the moment of inertia. I will read the line again. See, the tendency to resist the change of the rotating motion of an object is the moment of inertia. Okay, so in case of a rotating motion, it is moment of inertia. The moment of
So
inertia. Huh?
page number.
213.
213 আরো আগে বলো নাই কেন? Okay,
Okay, sir.
213 আসো, পেজ নাম্বার এটাতে আসো। Okay, the moment of inertia depends on the distribution of mass and distance from the axis of rotation. Now if you remember, we already discussed about this axis of rotation. Whenever we have let us say this is a stick, okay, and I have tied a rope to it. One end of the rope is tied to this stick, and another end of the rope I have tied a ball. Now if I make this ball to be in a circular motion around this stick, okay, so this stick is going to be called the axis of rotation of this ball. Okay, so passing through the center, the straight line that we imagine, okay, that straight line is called the axis of rotation. Acha. Now the moment of inertia, it depends on which two things? The distribution of mass. Okay. Sometimes it will happen that this is not only a single object. Okay. Like this whole circular thing is an object. For example, the plate we eat, or a circular disc. Okay. Circular disc looks like this, right? So if you just rotate the plate, okay, when যে প্লেট থেকে আমরা খাই আর কি, ওই প্লেটটাকে ধরে যদি আমরা এভাবে ঘুরাই, if you rotate it, it will be in a circular motion, right? And as it is a circle, it will have a center, and through that center, if you imagine a straight line passing through up and down, then what will happen? This will be called an axis of rotation. Now they are talking about the mass distribution. Now it might happen that the mass distribution on one side is higher and the mass distribution on another side is a little bit lower, or it might happen that it is homogeneous, that the mass is equally distributed all over the body. Okay, so it will the moment of inertia will depend on this one. Okay, and there are some object who has lesser mass towards the center and higher mass at the towards the end of the edge. Okay, so depending on this, the moment of inertia will vary. Okay, and the second thing, the distance from the axis of rotation. From the axis of rotation, the bigger the object is, the distance from the axis of rotation will be higher, right? Now if you think about it this way, what we're going to study, let me give you a heads up. Okay, The moment of inertia we actually calculate it in this way, that there are several particles. Okay, at every point there are several particles of any object, right? So if I want to calculate the total moment of inertia of the body, what we need to do is actually calculate the moment of inertia for each and every particle. This is the primary calculation, okay, primary idea, that if I get to know the moment of inertia for each particle, then what will happen? If I add all the moment of inertia, I will get the moment of inertia for the whole body. ওকে, এটা জাস্ট লাইক এটা ছোটখাটো এক্সাম্পল যদি দিই, তোমরা যদি মনে করো ক্লাসে 20 জন স্টুডেন্ট থাকো, and if I want to know how much money you all together have, then what I have to do? I have to know that each of you how much money you have, then I will add it up to know the total amount, right? So it is just like that only. But you understand that this calculation will be very tiresome. There are crores of number of particles are there on the body. So if you want to calculate it in this way, then what will happen? You will never be able to finish the calculation, right? So that is why we will see a derivation through which we will actually get to know that with a simple formula or equation, how we can directly calculate the moment of inertia of a certain body. Okay, let's see. Let a rigid body of mass m, the second paragraph of moment of inertia I'm reading, okay? Please everyone be with me. Let a rigid body of mass m rotating around an axis AB with uniform angular velocity omega. So in the figure you can see this looks like a circular plate or disc or anything you can imagine, okay? So this is having a circular motion, and through the center you can see that the line is passing, okay? Okay, now we are not considering a single body. This whole plate is a body, okay? I'm not very good at drawing, so you might have a hard time imagining what I'm doing, but you can always have an idea looking at the book, okay? This line should not be seen, okay? So you can imagine the line is passing through the center, okay? Now, there are several particles. This is particle M1, this is particle M2. M1, M2 are the masses of the particle, okay? Now you can see that they are at different distances from the axis of rotation. This one is near, this one is far, this one is more far, okay? So from the distance from the axis of rotation, the moment of inertia also depends on that, right? So we will get to know that if the distance is more, will the moment of inertia be more or less? We will get to know, okay? Achha, now let a rigid body of mass m, the total mass of this body is m, okay? Then it is rotating around an axis AB. In the figure you can see that this is the axis AB is given, and it is rotating in this direction, okay? It is rotating in this direction with an angular velocity omega. That means it is rotating like this, okay? Okay. The kinetic energy acquired by the body due to this rotating motion is called rotational kinetic energy. As this is rotating motion, so this is the energy. At first, we need to understand that if a body is in motion, definitely there is some kinetic energy. If it is linear motion, we simply say kinetic energy. But whenever it is rotational motion, we say rotational kinetic energy is there. Let the body of mass m is composed of numerous particles of M1, M2, M3. Acha, now again they have said the mass of the body is capital M. Okay, it doesn't matter. উপরে ওরা একবার লিখছে ছোট m, পরে আবার capital M লিখছে. So it's up to us কোনটা আমরা ধরি, এটা ম্যাটার করে না, okay? Okay. তো যেটা বলতেছিলাম যে this whole body is composed of so many particles. Let us say this one has a mass of m1, this one has a mass of m2, this one has a mass of m3, okay? So like that there are several particles, okay? And they are also at some distance. Let us say m1 is at a distance of r1, m2 it is at a distance of r2, okay? So like that, okay? Now you can understand. By the distance of a point from the axis or And a straight line, we mean the minimum distance. Here, whenever we talk about the distance from the axis to the particle, we mean the minimum distance, or we say the perpendicular distance. এটা অবশ্য না বললেও আমরা বুঝতে পারি. Let us say I told you to find out the distance between these 2 points. You will measure the distance directly, the shortest possible distance. Not তুমি কখনোই এইরকম ডিসটেন্স মেজার করবে না যে এভাবে যদি যাই তাহলে কিভাবে. So you will never measure the distance. So this is the shortest possible distance, and that is called perpendicular distance. Okay. So every time we are talking about the distance of a certain particle, we are actually talking about the perpendicular distance between the axis of rotation and the particle. Okay. Acha. Since the particles are very rigidly attached with the body, so the angular velocity of each particle will be omega. Yes, if the whole body is rotating at a certain velocity, each particle on the body is rotating with the same velocity. This a beautiful practical example we can give, that is the rotation of Earth. The Earth is rotating. We are standing on the Earth. Is it possible for us that the Earth is rotating, we are standing on the Earth, but we are not rotating? No, this is not possible. We are also in a rotational motion. Okay, we know that the Earth, rotates around its own axis like this, and due to this rotation, day and night occurs, right? Okay, and around the sun, two types of motion are there for Earth. One is diurnal motion, another one is annual motion. So the first one, diurnal motion, it is the motion of the Earth around its own axis. Okay, and due to that, day and night occurs. And another motion is around the sun, and due to that, what happens? Year changes. Okay, this is called annual motion. Okay, so Earth is rotating like this. So each and every object that is standing on the Earth is rotating with the same velocity. Okay, I hope you understand. If at any point you don't understand anything, please let me know. Stop me right there and request me to explain again. Okay, no problem. I'll be happy to rediscuss. So is there anything that I discussed till now you didn't understand? By the way, তোমাদের সবার ভিডিও অন রাখার কথা. I cannot see anyone. I must be able to see everyone. Everyone, please on your camera. Okay. So, but since their distances from the axis of rotation are not same, so their linear velocity will not be the same. এই লাইনটা বুঝতে হবে. Okay. See, we can see that the particles are at different distance from the axis of rotation, right? Okay, even though they are with same angular velocity. Okay, this whole body is in an angular velocity with omega, right? So all the particles on this body will have the same angular velocity, but not the same linear motion. This is what is important to understand. Okay, why? Because V is equal to omega R. We already got to know this, right? So even though the omega is same for everyone, R is not same for everyone, right? See, R is less for some particle, R is more for some particles. So as the R is changing, definitely the linear motion will be different for each and every particle. Okay, Achha. Now the linear velocity of the particle m1 is v1 is equal to omega r1. Yes, for the particle m1, okay, the first particle, the linear velocity v1 will be omega r1, and for the second particle it will be like v1 equal to omega r2. So omega it is going to remain same for everyone, but v and r will be different. So therefore it's kinetic energy. So if I want to calculate the kinetic energy now, ek is equal to half mv square. Now for the first particle, if I apply this, what will happen? Half first particle, the mass is m1, and v, it will be v1 square, right? So v1 is equal to, we just a little bit ago got to know that it is equal to omega r1. So it will be half m omega r1 square. Okay, so this is for the first particle, and the similar calculation we can repeat for the second particle, third particle, fourth particle, and we can keep on continuing, right? So for the second particle, it will be, I'm sorry, can I M1 likhe na? It will be M1. So for the second particle, it will be half M2 omega R2 square, right? And for third particle, M3 omega R3 square. As you can understand that I'm going to follow the same pattern, so I'm not repeating the calculation again and again, okay? It is clearly written in your book. So in this way, we can determine the kinetic energy of each particle. Yes, we can do. Now the total kinetic energy of the body will be the sum of kinetic energy of all the particles. This is very much understandable, right? Comprehensible. Because if I want to know the total kinetic energy of a certain body, now each and every particle's kinetic energy, if I add it up, then only I will be getting the total kinetic energy of the whole body, right? So this is there. Therefore, the total kinetic energy of the body E is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3. I will write it on the board. Total kinetic energy is equal to kinetic energy of the first particle, kinetic energy of the second particle, kinetic energy of the third particle, and we will continue up to how many particles are there. Okay. So if I replace the value now, it will be half M1 omega R1 square plus half M2 omega R2 square, and we can continue like this, right? Now from here, if you notice, we can take half and omega common, right? Half omega, if I take common, it will be M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus dot dot dot. Okay, like this. Then what we can write in short, we can write, I guess it will be, oh, তোমাদের আসলে মনোযোগ কতটুকু আমি জানি না, বাট এখানে আমি একটা জিনিস ভুল লিখছি, সেটা তোমরা কি আমাকে বলতেছো না? দেখো ওমেগা R1 হোল স্কয়ার, সো ডেফিনেটলি देयर উইল বি ওমেগা স্কয়ার অলসো, ওমেগা স্কয়ার R1 স্কয়ার। সো এখানে হবে M1 ওমেগা স্কয়ার R2 R1 স্কয়ার M2 ওমেগা স্কয়ার R2 স্কয়ার। সো ওমেগা স্কয়ার কমন নেওয়া যাবে। ওকে, এখানে হোল স্কয়ার যখন উঠবে ওমেগার উপরে তো স্কয়ার হবে, সেটা আমি দিতে ভুলে গেছি, বাট তোমরা কি আমাকে ধরে দাওনি? ওকে, সো এটাকে কি লেখা যায়? এটাকে লেখা যায় as summation of mr square। আমরা এটাকে summation of mr square লিখতে পারি না? ওকে, যতগুলা mr square আছে সবগুলার summation এভাবে ছোট আকারে আমরা লিখতে পারি। ওকে, and this is expressed by I. Okay, and this I is moment of inertia. This I is called moment of inertia. So how we can calculate the moment of inertia? Mass into distance square. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate the moment of inertia, and this is the relationship between kinetic energy and the moment of inertia also. I will write the equation here again. E is equal to half I omega square. Okay, this is a very important equation which we will be using in to solve several mathematical problem and credits. Okay, okay. So this I is moment of inertia, and if you notice, we have introduced the I replacing summation of mr square. So definitely I is equal to summation of mr square. Okay, here I is called the moment of inertia, and then the definition is given. Okay, the definition, let us take a look at the definition, page number 214. The sum of the product, the sum means plus addition. What we will add? The product of mass and the square of perpendicular distance of each particle of an object from the straight line is called the moment of inertia. See, at first we said the summation. What we will add? We will add the product. Whenever we say product, that means there must be at least two things which we will multiply. What are those two things? The mass of the particle and the corresponding distance of that particle from the axis of rotation. Here they have mentioned it as a straight line. Okay, so the square of the distance, sorry, I think I forgot to mention the square of the distance. So the product of the mass and the square of the distance from that particular straight line, okay, that is called moment of inertia. Understood the definition? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. But the masses of an object is distributed continuously within the object. So if there is infinitesimal mass dm at a distance r from the axis of rotation for an object whose mass is continuously distributed, then equation this one becomes okay. Now let me explain it in this way, that you see, you understand that I already told you that to calculate the moment of inertia for each and every particle and then adding them up to find out the total moment of inertia for the whole body is tiresome and time consuming, right? So for that we want to come up with an equation which will enable us to calculate the moment of inertia of the whole body within a less amount of time, right? So how we can do that? If you remember, we will use the idea of calculus, right? At first, we will differentiate and then we will do the integration. Let me refresh your memory. Okay, what we do generally in case of differentiation and integration is, let us say I want to know the resistance of a big object. Okay, so finding out the resistance for that big object might be, you know, the calculation might be very lengthy and time consuming. So for that, what we consider a very small amount of portion of the body and calculate the moment of we calculate the resistance for that and then multiply it for the whole body. So that gives us maybe it will not give us an exact value, but it will give us an idea about the whole value, right? Okay, so this is the idea we are going to consider. So here what we will do, we will consider a small portion of mass and we will try to know the moment of inertia for that, and then if I integrate it for the whole body, I will get the whole moment of inertia for the body. Okay, so this is the idea we are going to apply. So we already got to know that I is equal to mass into distance square. Now if I take a very small portion, then it will be dm into r square, and then I have to integrate it. Dm, this is for a small mass. Whenever I integrate the whole for the whole body, then it will be the whole the moment of inertia. It is going to be for the whole body. Okay. So the dimension of moment of inertia is the dimension of mass into distance square. Yes, we want to know what is the unit and the dimension. Okay, we can actually say it from here itself. Okay, mass is kg and distance we calculate in meter. So kg meter square. This is the unit of moment of inertia. I always encourage you not to memorize these units. Rather, try to understand how we can calculate this moment of the units. In case I forget, if you memorize, then there is a possibility you will forget in the exam. Okay, but if you understand a particular thing, then what will happen? Even though you forget, okay, you have a way to find it out sitting at the exam hall itself. Okay, not looking at others' paper. Okay, so then we can also find out the dimension. Okay, dimension will be mass. Dimension is capital M, and r, it is a distance or a length, so it will be L square. So ml square. This is the dimension of what? Moment of inertia. Okay. Now significance. The moment of inertia of an object with respect to an axis is 50 kg meter square, means the sum of the product of the mass and square of the distance of the axis of each particle is 50 kg per meter square. 50 kg meter square, not per. Oh, sorry. So this is just they repeated the definition itself. So if you understand the definition, so and according to that you can always write the significance. Okay, and I told you already that the significance, these are the questions that might come in B for 2 marks. In creative you have 4 parts, right? A, B, C, D. In B you might see in several creative questions that you will be asked to write what is the significance of 15 Newton. what is the significance of 50 meter per second square acceleration. So like that, here they have given what is the significance of 50 kilogram meter square moment of inertia. So you can just from the definition of moment of inertia, you can just write it. Okay, and if you face any problem, then you may let me know. Okay, then again from equation 4.16 we get if omega is equal to 1 unit. Okay, so the rotational angular velocity is 1. We are considering omega to be 1. E is equal to, we already know that I omega square. So E will be is equal to omega, we are considering 1, right? So I into 1 square. Now 1 square actually does not make any difference here, because 1 square is 1 and 1 multiplied by anything remains the same. So if I cross multiply these two, then it will be 2E is equal to I. So for unit angular velocity, let me repeat it again, for unit angular velocity, the relation between moment of inertia and kinetic energy is like this. That is, the moment of inertia is double of the kinetic energy of the body. Okay, please understand this very properly. This might be important for MCQ also, right? Okay, they will say for unit angular velocity, what is the relation between the moment of inertia and kinetic energy. Then you have to look in the answer where it says that the moment of inertia is double of the kinetic energy. Okay, acha. So that is the moment of inertia. It is written in bold letter. I will read it out for you. The moment of inertia of an object rotating with uniform unit angular velocity around an axis will be numerically equal to twice of its kinetic energy. Double, right? Okay, then do we have, okay, no problem. Today we will end here. Okay, and whatever we have discussed till now, kindly go through it, and also, as I told you, go through the previous parts of this previous topics of this chapter, and if you face any kind of difficulty, you may let me know so that we can rediscuss about it a little in the following classes. Okay, and also remember to submit in a PDF form your holiday homework. Okay, so see you in the next class. Before we end the class, anybody wants to ask anything?
Sir, holiday homework কি? মানে কি করব?
হলিডে হোমওয়ার্ক হলিডে শেষ হয়ে যাওয়ার পর আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করতেছো হলিডে হোমওয়ার্ক কি?
স্যার আপনি কিছু দেন নাই তো।
তোমাদেরকে কোনো হলিডে হোমওয়ার্ক দেই নাই? তোমাদেরকে পিডিএফ গুলা থেকে ক্রিয়েটিভ সলভ করতে বলি নাই?